Hello and welcome to Using Decimals. This is Chapter 2, Lesson 8 from the Nelson Math Focus textbook. I'm Mr. Burko. You're listening to my Mathcast coming to you from St. John Fine Arts School. Our goal today is to use a place value chart to represent and compare decimals less than 1,000th. We have fibers here that we are going to compare. In our textbook on page 58, we have wool, silk, and cotton. And what we need to do is we need to decide which one is the greatest width. We have two characters in our textbook. Joel is the first character and Tara is the second one. They each take a different approach, and I really want you to understand both approaches. But of course, when it comes to a provincial achievement test exam, it doesn't really matter what approach you took. Whatever makes sense to you and whatever gets you the right answer is the correct approach. In this case, wool measures 20 millionths, and if we were to place that on a place value chart, remember the 0 of the 20 needs to end in the millionths. If you put the 2 in the millionths, that would make it 2 millionths. And so we're not talking about 2 millionths, we're talking about 20 millionths, or 20 parts per million basically. Cotton is 10 millionths, and it ends up on this place value chart similar to the 20 millionths. The 1 is in the same spot, and there's a 0 there. You see the number 10. And remember, that 0 isn't really necessary unless we're describing the number as 10 millionths. We could also say it's 100 thousandths, but it isn't 100 thousandths because they measured it a certain way and they want to describe it as 10 millionths. And then finally, this is probably why they want to describe it as 15 millionths, because this one has 2 digits, and so we're going to want to compare them each in a way that makes sense with each other. So this is 15 millionths. If we were to call these 100 thousandths and then this one 15 millionths, that might be confusing. So it's sort of like apples and oranges. We want to compare apples to apples and oranges to oranges. If you look at the 100 thousandths place, you'll see that there are 2 ones and a 2. Now, obviously, the higher the number, the farther to the left, or the closest to the decimal point, is going to be the highest number. I know that was a little bit difficult to take in. So basically, the highest of these 3 numbers means that it's the highest number. So this one here at 20 millionths is the highest number. In other words, wool is wider because the 100 thousandths is the highest number. So if we were to put these in order of smallest to widest, we would put cotton first because it comes in at 10 millionths, silk at 15 millionths, and wool at 20 millionths, being the widest. Now, this is easy for us to compare because they're all described as millionths. And we also have to take into consideration the millionths position because that 5 helps us decide which one of these two is largest. Like I said, Tara has a different approach to this. She actually just converts the number to how you would say it. So this is the number in standard form, and this is the number how you would say it, 20 millionths. She takes the 10 millionths and turns it into how you would say it, 10 millionths, and this standard form number into 15 millionths. By doing this, she can compare all 3 of the numbers. You know already that 20 is the highest of these 3 numbers. So if you have a 20, then that's going to be the highest number of all 3 of them. And if you have a 10, then that's going to be the lowest because 15 is right in the middle. So 20 is the highest, 15 is the middle, and 10 is the smallest number. And obviously, we can see that we get the same answer as the previous one. Now, I'm going to answer one of these questions on page 59, and I would like you to take a shot at it. The question is, how do you know that 150 millionths is the same as 1500 thousandths? Now, if you're not sure how to answer that, why don't you go back and take a listen. Pause the presentation and give it a shot. Welcome back. Let's answer that question quickly. 150 is placed on our place value chart. The 0 ends in the millionths, but if you put 1500 thousandths, in other words, take that 0 off, then that gives you a number that's the same number, but described in a different way. Thanks for joining me,